Hello, hello. How's it going, everybody? It snowed today. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. Anyways, another Tuesday. Welcome, welcome. We are going to continue. I'll call it continue. An experimental path that we had started last week. The way Tauri originally integrated is that it had tighter control of the window. And we were exploring an RFC that allowed us to pass that window handle around. Still drinking coffee to wake up? Yeah, oh my. This week is, it's gonna be a long week. It's gonna be a long week. It's the kids, and Halloween was exhausting. Fun, but exhausting. So yes, caffeine needs to really kick in here. So we explored this raw window handle. I guess we could go. Got it open right now. This RFC, we were able to get multiple. With this, we were able to have more direct access to the window handle, in which we could put in multiple web views. So Tao is setting up the window, the thing around, Chrome as it were, and Rai could then. We had multiple instances of Rai effectively. I want to. We discussed this a little bit in the last one, but I want to explore Bevy. There is a note in here that the Crab Nebula was contracted to research and develop an integration of Rai and WGPU/Bevy. So I think with this, what we were working on last time, we could handle the Rai side of it. Now I want to just poke around a little bit in Bevy/WGPU and see where that's at and like what state that is in. So as all of these things land, we can kind of keep track of where things are at and when they're going to land, and when it might make sense to. I mean, theoretically, you could use this now, but there's going to be a point where it becomes easy to use. So I think that's what we're going to dig into a little bit today. We've done some WGPU on stream, probably a couple months ago now. If you're interested in that, we might actually pull that up today, depending on how Bevy goes. But go ahead and check out those stream replays. We're going to try Bevy, see how far we can get, and we might switch to WGPU depending on how it settles out. But our goal today is to have Bevy and WebView on top of each other, or in the same window at least. And Rai, I think, works with Winit now, so we could potentially do it either way, depending on how Bevy goes, where Bevy is a little bit more inside of Rai and Tao versus Winit, and then putting Rai within Bevy app. So we'll see. We'll kind of see how that pans out. I've looked into it a little bit. Not too much though. So what I want to start with is I swear I'm not chilling. Chris is not paying me, but I do know Chris, and they do great work. And I've done a few courses on here. I would definitely recommend checking it out. But one of the workshops on here is the 2048 workshop, which is not Oh, okay. Weird caching thing, I guess. I've done that. I did it. Bevy was at least a handful of versions back. I don't even remember what version I did it on. But either way, I have checked with Chris and we are okay to use. I think it's Rust Adventure. Okay, we're gonna have to do this way. Chris. Chris just started updating it to, I think it's 0.12 of Bevy, which should, let's see, Bevy, oh, it's dash, okay. There's a bunch of Bevy examples. Most of the code is up on GitHub, so like if you just want to look at code, there's examples, and you can find examples anywhere, but the value of going through the course is actually like understanding how all of these pieces fit together. So we're not really spilling any secret sauce per se, but there's a 0.12 branch that I don't think Bevy has dropped their newest release yet, which is 0.12. But it's open source, so you can kind of look and see where things are at. Yeah, it's still on 0.11. So I'm presuming what we have is get reference to ref. So I think that'll be fine. There's not too much code here. For the most part, we've got 2 or 3-ish .rs files. So I think we just rip it out and pull it into the Bevy example, or the Rye setup that we have, and just see how it works. Actually, here, let me clone this. We'll just straight up run it. I want to see how the type signature of the type signature of the window handle is. Okay. We do have a Chris. Go ahead and grab this. Clone. Get to clone. Brain is just like, okay, no, this is what I want to do. I want to do Rust Adventure, CD Rust Adventure, git clone. There we go. There we go. That caffeine, right? Right? Is it just like I'm not sure where you're at, John, but is it the weather change that's really catching up to you? We went from like 60, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, so pretty nice, like indoor room temperature nice, to freezing temperatures over the span of like 2 days. And it's just, all the kids are getting sick because of all the Halloween and being outside with all the cold weather. Oh, it is just... Alright. We'll take a quick peek here. There is... most of the code is in main.rs. There's a little bit in UI and components and buttons. Oh, the update. It's changed a little bit. Okay. So buttons is a little bit more. We'll see if this actually runs. We might need to bump back to an earlier version, which is completely fine for what we're trying to do. Set up UI, scoreboard. So we have an app. We've got these commands. And the function set up UI app system. Okay, so we've got an app builder. We can potentially put in one of the other examples too. from the Bevy repo, because that is even more simple. As I understand though, app build is the like builder syntax, and run it ends up it contains the winit part of it. So there's a Bevy winit crate and a Bevy window crate, I think it is. And the combination of those two is all within this app builder, the app builder syntax. So we have like as you can see here, Bevy window descriptor, and we can set the actual title. What else do we got in here? Yeah, so this is just the descriptor, and then there's it's dropping in all the defaults from that. The builder has startup, systems, resources, plugins, state, and events. I feel like there's a couple other pieces in here in the builder. But the window and the Chrome itself, I think they just come in as a resource. I don't remember if there's a specific default or not. But if we go and look at like the Bevy example, there is a, I guess, window. Yeah, so this is multiple windows, and what this is doing, it's got an app new, and it's doing this add systems setup scene, which is similar to what we do elsewhere. And what it's doing is it has a camera 3D bundle, which is that basically is what contains the first window. Yeah, camera defaults to the primary window, so it's like this is handling the parts with defaulting to the first window, and what it's doing here is spawning off a whole second window. So we get this command spawn. So should make that just a little bit bigger. And what else? What are other ones in here? Yeah, so this is kind of what I was thinking about. There's a window, there's default plugins.set. So in the add plugins, you can do there's a primary window, and we get a window, and that comes from the, I think it comes in the prelude. So title, resolution, present mode, window theme. Okay. Interesting. So we might be able to do something with this part of it. I'm not certain if we... I don't think we need to do it as a resource. But within the... Yeah, maybe within the system, startup system, we might be able to set up function setup. So it is doing a bunch of commands. So when it renders, it's rendering it directly in the window. Let's go ahead and run it just so we have something to look at here. Cat cargo. Anything special going on, right? Oop. Wrong system. Okay, so cargo run. We'll let it compile. so there's the primary windows and the default plugins. I noticed there is also is it under app maybe? Okay, might need to switch. Oh wait, we're in the main. Get checkout. Let's check out this branch. So this might have actually changed once oh no, don't save. All right, so do we have anything different? Add plugins. Okay, so we still have our primary window here. Yeah, okay. There is the window, and as we get the Rust Analyzer build, we'll get some context in here. I think that's a Winit window. This in the main is probably where things are gonna like smash together if we can figure something out. Let's go ahead and open up the Rye example. We had there we go. Was that in? Yeah, we do have Cab Nebula. It's got to be in there. Whoops. So I think, yeah. Nice. Gives us something to do while we're waiting. So one of the things that I'm kind of interested in is like handling this UI is not the tooling behind HTML and CSS is well developed. I don't know I would specifically call it mature, but there's been a lot of effort that's been put into that. So if we could use, you know, that very rich ecosystem to handle kind of these like UI elements and just have Bevy render the game part of it, I think that's the piece that I'm most curious about. I mean, there might potentially be situations where like we really want this thing to be as real time as possible, where we want that number to be updating, but in something like 2048, some of this UI stuff doesn't actually need to be part of the system necessarily. But also on the flip side of things, if we get too deep into, like if this data is like really deeply nested with a Bevy, it doesn't really make sense to pull out and then push into a web view separately. I don't know. We'll find out. We're experimenting here. So this is our example that we're using for Rye. We've got now 2 windows here, and we have the raw window handle somewhere around here. Yep, window, and we're calling it a window.raw window handle. And we've pulled in the trait. I'm hoping that that's all we need to also do for the Bevy setup, because we have a window here. So if what is our window? We've got a Bevy window. It's a struct. This component is synchronized with Winit through Bevy Winit. Okay. So, out of curiosity, how should we pull this in? We could, I almost just want to like smash together this code and see what it looks like. That might just be the easiest. We could also pull in Rye and this is like get references. It's gonna be a little bit harder here. So maybe we pull in Rye as a get reference here. And that should, oh, I've got a, what is this? I need to fix that. There we go. How did that? It wasn't there before, right? I haven't been. I could have sworn it wasn't there before. That's the other thing. I'm right next to a patio door, and when it snows, the amount of light reflection completely changes the lighting in my room. So depending on if it's raining or snowing or sunny out, it's nice to be able to like see the sun. It's kind of frustrating for consistent lighting though. Okay. So if we pull in, did we have to pull in raw window handle as a, assuming it's just in here, right? Raw window handle, yeah. So if we would, let's just try it. We'll throw this in. We'll throw raw window handle in and just see what happens. Sure. So this should give us an updated trade. Now where is our setup? Forward new, points debug. Here. It doesn't like that. Raw window handle. Yeah, okay. Gotta pull it in. Cool. Not a problem. You can do that. Now I can't remember if we, well, this code window switching is messing with my head right now. I'm not, my brain is not up to par on this. I need that caffeine to kick in. Okay, so that's cool now. It's fine with that. It's unused. Fine. My formatter just did a whole bunch of things. But if we have the window, window handle. So there's a window handle, and that's from use Bevy window closed. A window reference to a window. So that's all from the raw window handle trade, or crate rather. So here's a primary window marker. Currently this is assumed to only exist on one. Window plugin will spawn a window entity with this component. Okay. So window plugin is the thing that is default plugins.set. A plugin that defines an interface for windowing support in Bevy. So I don't know if So like here's this without Winit. So we can create an application without Winit. And so part of having the window is the event loop tied to it, which I think is what drives the game rendering, that event loop. Try not to kick the cat. I thought it was blowing me. If we disable Winit, we don't get, it runs once and we don't get an event loop. And like here we can see there's the Bevy Winit plugin. Let's see, what else do we got in here? No renderer. Displays an empty window but without the actual renderer. Oh, interesting. This can be very useful for integration tests or CI. And we're starting to see a little bit of a WGPU show up here. So if we can get it to work with Bevy, I wouldn't expect WGPU to really give us any problems. Famous last words. But input scene shader tools. I think that's about the limit of our examples that we're going to see here. We've got the window plugin. And we can set a whole bunch of settings. I think that's about I don't know if we're going to have an easy way to have access to that window. And something we could do too is if we have an app, we could potentially like we click a button in the game and it opens up a web view on the side or something. As a separate window. Like depending on the game, that might be something that could be a interesting use case. Plain cube light camera. So we've got, seems like window plugin is sort of that's the thing to work with. And I'm not specifically seeing any way to, this component is synchronized with Winit through Bevy Winit. Okay. So when I was looking last night, I think I should have left that tab open. There was this. Because this is kind of like a multiple-sided thing where the lower level pieces are shifting in a way that everything on top of it needs to both adjust and then support it. As I'm understanding. So like raw window handle had some updates. So everybody's kind of needed to get up to par with that. So there might be a little bit of work where we need to, this is what I was curious about. There is window query. It cannot find raw window handle in compilation, even though the IDE can. So yeah, okay. So there's, I'm suspecting something like this is gonna work. They've got this window query. Hi. Do you wanna come say hi? What up? Oh, you're wet. Tip your bowl. Is that why you're crying? Okay. So I'm not seeing anything like any that's jumping out to me in this part that this doesn't seem like code from Bevy. Raw window handle UI kit. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So I think what's happening here is they're doing some, it looks like iOS type work. There's a view controller. They've got an alloc. I feel like I've only ever really read that. I don't do enough of that kind of stuff on stream to pronounce it often. Let's check out the window query. Bevy engine. This was kind of the only. This is kind of the only option that I saw to actually use. Or at least like example. I also had this open. So there is some raw window handle work here, yeah. So we can get the windows from app world resource, and we can get the primary, and then we can get the handle. That's feeling pretty. Render plugin app. Okay. So we have an app new, and then we're inserting the resource. So within our setup is getting spawnboard.chain. Then we're adding systems. Here we're adding plugins. Do we have anything set up to where we're going to have an instance of app already? So we've got the abstract. I don't know if we'll be able to do this, but let's give it a try. And then if we say now, if we have an app, all the JavaScript. App. Okay. We've got. What do you need, kitty? You were all wet too. I don't know if you can. Just keeps pawing at me. Hi. Come say hi. Just being needy right now. Hop up and say hi. Okay, there's sub app. What is sub app? Okay. She is just like, oh my goodness. No, you don't need to rub your face all over that. Okay, window query. Where so this, yeah, I don't think that's doing what I'm gonna want to do. I was hoping that I could get. It's like this is the code that I had copied. There's an app.world. Okay, but that's different.
So I'm just gonna put that back. I'm suspecting we want to have Bevy control like the main window and the event loop. If we just stick Rye on the inside of it. So we're gonna see how that pans out. So we need an app.world. Let's just see if there's a world anywhere. From world. So we got a world get resource. Okay. We're not actually using it. Impl. We have the or we have a from world here. There's a world get resource. So this is doing some font stuff. I don't really want to do it there, but honestly, if I can just get something working, I'm okay with it. It's got window. Okay, init resource font spec. Init resource game. And font spec is, yeah. So we're doing the impl 4 font spec. Okay. I mean, we could try doing a net resource if we get a world. Let's try it. Let's try it. A container of app logic and data. Bundle together necessary elements like world and schedule to create an ECS-based application. Let's try it. I have no idea if this is gonna work, but we'll say init resource Rye webview. We'll just call it webview. We'll have something like this. We're gonna do that same impl that we've got up here. We'll just straight up copy that for webview. We've got a font spec. I don't know what we're gonna need for. Is it a void? I don't remember what. Just gonna take off the return. So if we've got this, we have a world.resource mute. Change the output type to match the trait. Okay. Now we have a world resource mute Bevy window. Failed to resolve use of undeclared crate. Okay. I mean, I was kind of fine with the turbo fish. What do we need to do to... So that's pulling from Bevy window. Prelude. Great. Let's see a window. Great, it's Bevy window. So is it pulling in from that? Okay, I think we can just throw in a use. Does resolve use of undeclared creator module. Oop, ha. Use of undeclared creator module Bevy window. Does that mean that we need to actually put it in here? I don't remember. Bevy window. Sure, star. Fine with whatever. We might need to be actually, I think it'll come from that same rev. So let's do this. It's doing some things. Hopefully we get a... Hopefully we get a Bevy window now. Now we'll have a raw window because we're doing the windows.get primary to get the handle. Instance.create surface. And it's an unsafe. Interesting. It is doing a... It's a mutable reference to the resource of the given type. So I wonder if can we just do a query for it? Like here we're doing a windows.getWindow unwrap. There's a window query.single. Let's go ahead and look for that. That's what we just looked at. So there's a window query. Fortunately, this is starting to get to the edge of my Bevy knowledge offhand. So I know there's a query. We've got a query board, and we're querying for the reference to board. So within board, we're setting that up and then passing it to spawn tiles. And spawn tiles is part of the systems. So we have a system and we have where's spawn board? Yeah, so spawn board is another system. So we set up and then we spawn the board, and then the later systems have access to that. Add event. Following other types implement trait Bevy prelude resource. Okay. We also have a game. What does our game look like? Impl. Pull board. Points position. Board shift. Here, game. So we've got a game. So within our struct, we have an impl from world for our struct. This should give us function from world creates itself. Do I have to call from world anywhere? Okay. I think that's creates self using data from the given world. I think that'll be fine. All right. If we have man, do we just have all right, what's Windows? Windows is mute unknown. We're still getting a struct with similar name exists window. So Bevy window. Windows? The trade bound Bevy window is not satisfied. So, whoop. We have a window. All right, come on. So we have a world dot. What else is in here? Contains entities get. I think maybe we try to query for a window. Query. So if we query the get window query, spawn enemies. So this is doing a window query, and it has the window. All right, let's check out the examples. I think we because we just need the raw window handle, and if we have Bevy handling the window and the event loop, we just need Rye within it. And then the other part of me is curious, what if we flip the boat? But it feels like Bevy does not have an expectation built in where you can like pass it the raw window handle. So all of these are off of the, let's see, startup. So this is adding a system and it's doing setup scene. Screenshot, interesting. Screenshot. Okay, so that's also a system. Here's so this system is getting a main window. Alright, so set up simple 3D scene. I think the order that you're building it in too matters, if I recall correctly. So if we would do like add system, actually that what do we got here? Let's just comment some of this out. So in net resource, within our setup, we have camera 2D bundle and spawn board. If we do in add systems, okay, there's a So we give the schedule. There's startup and there's update. We would want to do it at startup. Then we have setup spawn board.chain and spawn board. So setup is doing some things, spawn board is doing some things. It has commands. Where are the commands coming from? Commands.spawn. Alright, what do we got in add systems? Startup, setup. Okay, so on update, we do have access to the main window. I think that's the difference. On startup, we get a setup and we get commands, meshes, and materials. So within commands, what do we have for options? So we can dash resources, we can insert resources, we can run, we can spawn. Let's add pushes a generic command to the command queue. We can get entities. We can init a resource. The inferred value is determined by the from world trait of the resource. Okay, so we could do an init resource here. But I presume that would be the same as up here, but I think depending on the order of things you'd get, we would want to spawn the window first. Spawn pushes a command to the queue for creating a new entity. So what is camera 2? Is that coming from? That must be in the prelude. So camera 2 bundle. What do we have? I don't recognize any of this. This is all. So I think the cameras automatically. We read somewhere that they automatically attach to the main primary window. By default, they attach to the primary window. I'm not seeing. Here, let's go. Oh, there might be discussions. Bevy, window query. Clearing the screen every frame. Interesting. They're using Bevy and eGUI to build 3D CAD desktop applications. Nifty. Okay. So they have an impl for list view from function system, which which gets the world. And then the most natural way for an eGUI app in Bevy is to use system and functions. So, okay. Simplest to pass around the world is your only function parameter. So there's a system state. Interesting. They only need type information, not data for widgets. From or with world and eGUI context. So interesting. World entity mute, insert eGUI context. Okay. So there is the world.query filtered to get entities. And this is, so I guess that's the other piece of it too. If the expectation is that we're rendering a web view with some intent to take code from the Rust side of things or values from the Rust side of things and pipe them into the web view, we do need to do it in a way where we still are able to have that communication path. We do have commands on the, I guess those would land in Tauri. So if we've got these macro functions and we're just calling them, that could potentially be a way to send data to the front end. I'm not 100% certain though. We are in very experimental territory, especially for my level of knowledge around Bevy. I'm skeptical that init resource is the way to go. I think we want to be able to handle it on enter, on update, new tile event. So I guess what are our options? If we would do another add, oh, you can add a new schedule to the app. So what are the schedules? It doesn't. I was hoping that I could just get some context right there. The schedule that runs once the app starts. This is run by the main schedule. We have a pre-startup, startup, a post-startup, first pre-update. Now I'm curious, what happens if we do an add systems? Is there an add system? I don't know that it matters too much, but add systems. If we say post startup, and these are going to be our systems, which are functions, So we'll say webview init, and our function. Well, let's go for it. Webview init. How is it gonna help us at all? That is the question. I think we get a. If we look at like the post startup struct, we're getting. Doesn't specifically say anything here. Is it able to tell us? It doesn't seem like it's able to tell us. Well, maybe. Is there a window? Window moved. Yeah, I'm not. I have no idea if this is actually gonna work or not. Let's just say window dot. Is there a raw window handle just straight up here? Get height. Resizable, reflect resolution. Window theme, physical width. So we've got commands. I think we just get the commands. So if we do this, commands dot, there's a get respawn. I'm not sure if get entity. How would we get the entity? Okay, so this is spawning an entity. And get entity. Let some commands get entity, and then it just gets the entity directly. On system spawn. Pushes a command to the queue for creating a new entity. This will. Alright, so world insert resource for more information. Pushes command to the queue. Alright, if we look at the let's pull open docs.rs. We are like into the code at this point anyways. Docs. And we want to be on I think things have changed enough. Does it... Can we go to specific... I guess it depends if they published it or not. It's a get reference, so they might not have... We've got it defined as a get reference, so we might not actually have... Might not actually have anything to us here. So let's see. World init resource, ECS world, and there's The value given by the from world method will be used. Note that any resource with the default trait automatically implements from world, and those default values will be used here. Okay. So if we say it is inserting a resource, we have some like resources here. Like this is a resource, I'm pretty certain. I don't know what the difference is. Like why would you do it that way? From world, view to world. No, I'm not feeling that. I think we want to do the query. There is and that would be in so within system we've got the we have a init resource and we have add systems. Okay. Let's search for add system. This is going to be coming from the there's two. Add systems, add system. Okay. So let's do add systems. And we do the systems. Oh, they've got a conditional. That's kind of cool. On if, on startup and schedule. Okay, so there's an impl into system configs. The types of system configs. Okay, so we have a system config on startup and schedule. I'm not certain about that. Returns the system course. Systems are ran in exclusive and single threaded way. Running slow systems become okay. All right. Tony, how's it going, Tony? I'm doing a combination of trying to recall Bevy and some very experimental stuff. Oh, nice. Is that a Leptos and Tauri video? That was a handful of weeks ago now. I don't John was just saying it too. I feel like the weather turned. Everybody got sick. My brain is just like, the caffeine is not helping. I don't even recall the Leptos video. I mean, I know I did it. I was looking at the list of things that I did, but I have no recollection of what I did in Leptos right now. Funny. And speaking of recall here, so we're looking at a Bevy app. You might have some familiarity here. You're deep in Leptos right now, and I've heard you talking with Chris. It seems fun. I definitely I can see the interest. So what we're trying to do is take this Bevy app and grab or query for the primary window, get a raw window handle, and attach a web view to it. So trying to have some interaction slash marriage of Tauri things with Bevy things, because at a low level, getting to the point I think where the windows have converged enough where we could potentially use the same one. The event loop is, for my understanding, still up in the air, how that, if that'll work or how that works. And I know there's ways to get handles or something. Like I there's issues. But making that happen is where we're poking around right now. So we've got, there's resources and there's systems. I think we need to do it after we start up, which is how we were just playing around with the post startup. But it seems like within systems you only have commands. Hello. Thanks for stopping by. So yes, YouTube. Yes. Systems and resources. I think we need to do. Is this playlist showing up in your videos list? Which playlist? Just the live streams in general, or? It. Oh, I see what you're saying. Live stream. Live stream is a separate tab. And it's interesting. It's interesting that I guess it's expected, but the live streams are recommended and served separately within YouTube from normal videos. I understand why they did it. For people coming and watching, I wish they didn't do it that way, but I understand why they did it, and I think it makes sense. But it means that my video and my live streams now need to I feel like I'm doing twice the amount of work. Especially since my videos were originally, or my things that were uploaded ads videos on YouTube were live streams on Twitch. So they've always been live streams, and I've done a few random videos or whatever, but for the most part it's all actually live streams. But as far as YouTube is concerned, I went all videos and then all live streams, and now, no problem. Don't worry about it. This is not easy. So a little bit of a distraction is I kind of welcome it. So we've gotten this raw window handle working. And in with Rye and working within Rye, we need to somehow query and get a window query. And I think that's the part that I need to just figure out where that needs to be done. And I'm not. So let's try this. Let's try doing window query in the discussions. How do I get the size of a monitor? That might be print monitor size. Okay. It is possible to look it up through the window. Okay. So we aren't putting the Bevy into WASM. We want to send it. Okay, yeah. So the WASM is definitely an option with Bevy, which is really cool. We are then in that, that architecture would be, presuming we're still talking about Tauri and Bevy together. We would have a Tauri app that would handle the startup, the window Chrome, bundling everything, and we're just stuffing a WASM app directly into the web view. Slower for sure. Yes, that's definitely something to keep top of mind. It might not be, depending on what you're doing, it might not actually matter. But that's always been something that we could do. What's interesting about this RFC, which is what we played around with on the last stream, was having there's been a bunch of work down in the lower levels of the Tauri internals to where these pieces are having better interop within the like Rust ecosystem. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to use the work in this RFC, get a raw window handle, and have Bevy handle the things that make sense to render directly using the GPU, and have the web view handle the other things. We could potentially do these as separate windows, I think, and I don't think that would require this raw window handle stuff. But we want to try putting them in the same window and just see what happens. How long did it take me to learn how to code? Thanks for the subscribe. I don't know, YouTube is a little bit more privacy forward. So I think unless you've got subscriptions public, they won't even show up. So like if you subscribe and you don't have subscriptions public, it's not even going to show up as an event, which I understand. I like, but at the same time, like, that's the only way I know. So, anyways, yeah, how long I went through all the effort of doing this here. That, I started off doing Python, and then I got into kind of web tech through Python and web servers. On the Python side of things, I got deeper into web tech and JavaScript, and then have since gotten deeper into Rust. So honestly, it was something like a 5-8 years doing it as just like a fun hobby thing in real languages before I even felt like I was comfortable enough to, you know, do this as a day job type thing. And before that, I was doing other types of code too. So yeah, you've been learning for 35 plus years, still learning, right? This is definitely one of those industries that's like you're just constantly learning, and at some level there's foundational knowledge that you can kind of take from one thing to another, and some of these patterns have existed for a while. There's definitely especially in the JavaScript ecosystem, where we're like just greenfielding everything and just redoing the same thing that has been done before in other languages and hitting the same mistakes. But that also can kind of breed innovation too. And then you have slower languages which have been around for a while that aren't evolving too fast. It really is what you're into, you know, what you're like. It's super dependent. It's what you're into. It's what you've learned over the years. It all sort of like builds up into this like knowledge graph. And some of it carries through, but some of it you have to relearn. And yeah, I mean, like Tony's somebody that's been doing it for 35 years. I mean, you got into Rust pretty recently, right? Within the past like year or so. I've technically been doing Rust for like 3 or 4 years now, but I haven't like dived into it as like super deep. So you probably are more adept at your Rust than 2 years. Okay. Times are weird now, right? I'm working at home. Time just like passes. All of a sudden it's the weekend and I'm like, oh gosh. Yeah, okay. You started going harder on it. Yeah, I've been definitely getting into it more and more, especially on the live streams here with the new computer that can handle it. Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be all relative. It's going to be different for every person, and learn how to code is very open-ended. You can do, depending on what you want to do and where you want to do it, there may not be too much to get into it. Like you could go to like codepen.io and start coding. You can start playing around with JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and changing things and seeing how it reacts. I mean, you could have a pretty good understanding of how to change HTML within a few days or hours even. So Rust is good for more experienced JS and typed language devs. Yeah, honestly, I feel like Rust has made me appreciate TypeScript more and understand the implementation and limitations of TypeScript. But on the other, like on the flip side of it, like when I am prototyping something in JavaScript/TypeScript, I definitely tend to prefer JavaScript just because the types still tend to get in my way in TypeScript. I'm kind of either way on Rust. I feel like with Rust, the types are so deeply embedded into it that as long as I like write my pseudocode and then get all the types working, if it's POC type stuff, I don't even like need to write tests. Like if the thing builds, ship it. So it's a weird like difference in confidence. I would not have that same feeling if I was writing TypeScript. You just converted a C app to Rust and you're so convinced it's so awesome for lower level stuff. Yeah, honestly, I just completely skipped C. Like I've written / read like basic, Visual Basic, Fortran, all those go-to loop type languages. I've got no interest in it. So, like I know enough and could understand enough that I can read it and just I would much prefer just avoiding those languages, writing them. You don't even know any C anymore. Yeah, that's like if you know enough to read it, and that comes back to the foundational stuff. Like I don't really know Fortran or C or any of those, but I know enough about languages in general now that I can kind of skim the code and kind of understand what it's doing enough that I could re-implement it. Which is really, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool how much like that knowledge traverses languages like that. Okay. And like it is very much a language. Like it's sort of that same situation if you know English and you start learning like Spanish or French or something. Some of those foundational pieces sort of like also end up working in other languages, and having learned one language makes learning other similar languages quicker than if you're starting from scratch. So learning your first language and getting into it and getting all the tooling can potentially be a long road, but it kind of picks up. But then you're also fighting all the trends of new things and staying on top of all the new stuff. So yeah, okay. This we are, here we go. Yeah, let's go. Whoa. We've got, what time did I start? 10:30 my time. We are going to hopefully have something within the next half hour. Make sure I don't have the messages that I need to immediately answer. Okay. I think we'll shoot for another about half hour. Hopefully we can get it working in then. So how do we get the size of a monitor? This felt like a good yeah, okay, so this is pointing directly to win it. This feels like a good sort of basis to dig into. Is what it's. I think this window query is sort of the key here, because this will get us the actual win it window. In which case, I think if we have that, we can get a raw window handle from it. I've confirmed it works. This makes sense, and I think we do want this window query. I have no idea where to put this though. So is this a it creates a translucent window on the primary monitor and displays. Okay. How do I get the size of the primary monitor? So the problem is I don't know how. I don't know enough Bevy offhand that I know exactly where I could put this. Let's just search for WinIt. Interaction with I've been exploring the integration between Bevy and React GUI. Interesting. Okay. Event loop proxy. So there's an app.world. I feel like with all these like little snippets, I don't know enough of Bevy to know like where that, in like what context that thing is used. And I think that's the piece that's really giving me troubles here. Is it seems like we have access to get the window, and it seems like we can potentially get that window handle. But I don't know enough or have enough like context of how we could go about doing that. Let's look at the examples again, because that's gonna give us like a little bit deeper context on wireframe, GLTF. It's the UI. What's window? Window fall through. Okay. So we've got a plugin for the window. We spawn a camera, a text bundle. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, so we've got a toggle mouse pass through. Get a mute windows in a query. So toggle mouse pass through is adding a system. So do we just need to do something like this? Mute windows? Does that give us I think that's the part, there's like this builder syntax. I'm not sure. Like, what can I put in here? Windows? Into iter single. So single returns a single read-only query item when there's exactly one entity matching. Okay. Or there's the mute version. I don't know if we need the mute, but if we do single, and this is starting to get into cursor. Is this starting to get into the world or the queries that we had up here? Okay, Windows get primary. Okay, this is feeling good. Now I lost my spot. Window.get component. Single dot get field. Okay. So this is a query to Bevy window. Each window corresponds to an entity and is uniquely identified by the value of their entity. Okay. So I don't think that's quite... That's not a window as we're thinking about it, like a winit window. We instead need to look at window query. Oh, wait. Window query gets single. Yeah, so I think... Windows query. Alright, what's the difference between these? We can just leave them both in there and go from here. We've got a window query dot... get single. Okay, and then get window. I'm not certain what we... Like, where's that coming from? But like, if we just do all this... Where are we at? Nothing specifically complaining. So if we say let current window. Now that's going to be potentially the monitor. So this is going to be option, oh no. And then, okay, option entity, query single error, winit windows. Okay, what's this? Winit. Winit window. Yeah, do we have to like import this maybe? I don't even know what this is supposed to return. Let's just see if this compiles. Alright. What do we got? Okay. With primary window. Cannot find type primary window in this scope. Okay. So if we import that, that should fix that. So Bevy window. Bevy window provides a platform agnostic interface for windowing in Bevy. So this is like window management, not necessarily the window handle directly, I think. So this would be more for like Okay. Window here would be Bevy window. This component is synchronized with winit through Bevy winit. Okay, it reflects the current state of the window and can be modified to change this state. Okay. I think. So we've got, okay, they're both queries. And this is mutable to window. All right. Let's try this windows dot get single dot wraps the expression and the result. Okay. Dot unwrap. Try that. And this, yeah, see, this doesn't seem like, okay, physical height, the Windows client area, physical pixels, position. I mean, it definitely seems like we've got some pieces here. What resolution the window should have, scale factor. Where the window should appear, window theme. And this is where I think we might end up having to get into like this unsafe stuff. So if we have a that raw window, window. So this is, what is this doing? Window query single. So it's got an entity. And if we do windows.getWindow.unwrap. Okay, so I think this Windows is not, this is all, where's, okay, so iOS handler. So this is, I believe this is window query.single. This is where we're at with the Bevy part of it. We're at like Windows or window.getSignal unwrap. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but there's a windows.getWindow. I think that is get many, get single, get unchecked. Like there's not a get window. Window, oh, not window, window. Ugh, I'm having a hard time typing right now. Query dot get. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that like seems to match up with what they're doing. So get single should give us that. Get single should give us that entity. So maybe we just say let entity equals this. And we'll actually let's just unwrap it. So that'll give us a window. Now if we say entity dot and this is giving us the window from Bevy window. And it says this component is synchronized with winit. So how would we get the raw window handle there is the question. And I'm not seeing anything that is going to help us specifically. Height into dynamic mode, window mode. Okay. Position. We can set things. We can make it visible or not. Window level. Oh, what is that? Okay. Transparent title. Okay, so I think we've got a good idea on how to get to the actual how we can like get to the window. So I think we're at that point where like we're getting the window, and then so entity winit windows dot get window. What's this winit windows? Okay, so they're saying use winit directly to get the window. So if we say like an entity, and then so we have an entity with a window. Let's look at Bevy winit real quick. I wonder if there's going to be anything that we could just pull in from there that's going to allow us to query. Actually, here let's search for. We've found a little bit here to go off of. Let's search for the raw window handle again, and then we'll look for the winit window. Because I'm thinking, winit windows.get. I'm wondering if that's it, and that looks like it comes from Bevy winit. Okay, all right. If you're using the winit plugin, which is in the default plugins, so we can retrieve the raw handle wrapper for a given window. The windows are created here. Okay. So I think create window. All right, let's look at the winit windows. Docs, where are we? You can tell how like advanced the topic is by how quickly your here we go, winit windows. This isn't you can tell how advanced the topic is by how quickly my tabs shrink down to the point where you can't actually read the titles anymore. We want winit windows. Let's give that a shot. Bevy winit windows. So there's a get window, and that takes an entity and returns an option window. So we have an option window already. Get window entity gets the entity associated with the window. So if we've got this ready. We've got an option window already. So the question is, like, if we've got a reference to the window, right? And I think we could get a mutable reference to it as well. So like we've got that. We now the question is, what do we do with that? Because if we do this winit windows get window, we're going to be in the same spot, right? And that's ref, but there is also the I don't know if we need. I don't know exactly what we need, but we could do a windows.get single mute dot unwrap, and that will give us a mute to the window. Right? Let's see. Result item queue. Yeah, so like I think we got options. I think we can get the window. So like if we get an entity, we can also get it this way too. So if we have an entity, we can get to the actual window itself. So we can figure out from an entity what window it's in. I don't think that's specifically helpful here, but now once we have this, what do we do with it? How do we get a handle? So once we have the window, window.current monitor. So what do we need at this point? We have a window. The question is, how do we get that raw window a handle? So like this example has a get window, and then from window you can do current monitor. I'm not certain that window is the specific piece we need, or that I'm specifically I'm calling this a yeah, like I don't see that as an option here. I mean, it's possible that it could have changed, but like dot current monitor window dot get window. So is that an entity at this point? I think we have the window though, and now with the window we need access to the winit raw window handle, because I think here let's look at the Rye implementation. Within Rye we're doing a web view, and we're getting a window that is in this case it happens to be a tau window, but that's effectively winit. And on that window we have so the embedded WebView builder requires a window.raw window handle, which is a trait that comes in from, at least in this case, raw window handle, because it's not re-exported yet. Is there a get window handle? So in here you have to add the trait to have access to this raw window handle function. Is now if and this will give us a raw window handle. Okay, so there's get window handle sounds right. Now the thing that I'm not quite certain of is on the entity. Is an entity the thing that you're rendering? Is an entity the actual like window itself? That's kind of the pieces that I'm not certain of. So it's potentially a misunderstanding of, like, there's Windows being used everywhere, and I'm wondering if I'm misunderstanding what they're when they say window, what are they considering is the window? So there's entity get. Okay. Entity.get. I mean, that sounds right. Does it have to be mutable? I think I pulled in. Yeah. Shrug if I'm actually going to end up needing that or not. Let's look up this get. Get window. Oh, can I not? Okay. Can't copy from my get window handle. So there's a Bevy window raw handle wrapper get window handle. That sounds right. Raw window handle. So how do I do that? A wrapper over raw window handle and raw display handle that allows us to safely pass it across threads. So we cannot simply make it thread safe. Okay. Some platforms don't support join window option. Okay, fine. I think you're on the right track. I just don't know how to get this. This isn't showing up as an option. This is within. Okay, so we're looking at Bevy. We're looking at Bevy window. Do I? This is a function. We've got a raw fields, raw window handle, display handle. It's a trait. So does entity implement the trait? Good question. And I don't know the answer to that, nor do I know. I'm presuming we need to pull it in. Is that a use? So I was expecting that we would have to do something like this. I guess that's the. What else do we have in here? Yeah, look at window struct. Yep. Okay. Ooh, there's a raw handle wrapper. Okay. So now if we do entity dot what was it? Get window handle. Okay. Thing dot get field as mute. Is that? I think that unwrap is the thing to do here. Or do we need to option mute window? Get. Okay. Yeah, look at window struct. Oh, okay. Show entity get again. Entity. So I switched just to OK. Let's do the unwrap and do get. So we have get field mute, get represented type info as bind group shader type. And we are currently doing use Bevy window raw window handle. Let's split right. Oop. So this is what we're working with right now. Raw handle wrapper. I feel like we're so close. I do. Like once we get that raw window handle, I mean, we'll have to copy a bunch of stuff. Try not to unwrap the entity. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Are we thinking... so if entity gives us a result, so if we do an OK, it's going to give us an option window. So we can get the window reference. Raw window handle get wrapper. There's a raw handle wrapper, raw window handle. I'm I'm not sure. So there's raw window handle and raw. Well, let's try that. Let's see if that changes anything. Get raw dot nope. I'm not seeing anything. It's so weird. I feel like we're so close. I mean, this get handle, get window handle, unsafe function, get handle, returns a has impl which exposes raw window handle. Okay, so this is an unsafe here on that. It is possible that we need to do this. So if we're unwrapping, let's try that. I'm not keen on that being unsafe. This is definitely more uncharted territory than I am used to, but so if we say no method name raw window handle, that's still an option. No method named raw window handle found for reference. Okay. I don't know if immutable matters. Let's just unwrap this and do the thing. No method named raw window handle found for struct Bevy prelude Bevy window in the current scope. Do we get anything else in here? Maybe that's something worth checking. Posit alpha mode decorations. Internal window state. Okay. Prevent default. So there's definitely different things in here. We have more options if we start to venture into unsafe. Let's look up the okay. We were looking at get window handle. Let's go ahead and look that up on the discussions. Last. Okay, we'll try the issues. Could you try removing them instead of documenting them? Okay. All right. So if we do a get handle search, is that going to give us any other results? Okay. Okay, this is handle prelude Bevy handle ID. I don't think that's what we need. I'm not seeing anything about this. I mean, this is very experimental type of stuff, so I'm not expecting people are asking about this often. Window handle is a field. So raw handle wrapper. A wrapper over raw window handle and raw display handle. That allows us to safely pass it across threads. So if we search for this, are we getting anybody? Okay. This is what we looked at before. Check out the raw window handle crate, which is what is stored in the raw handle wrapper, by the way. But if you're using the Winit plugin, which is a default plugin, so you can retrieve the raw window handle for a given window. So we have Winit windows.create window. And it's doing an insert of raw handle wrapper. And that gives us a window handle and a display handle. And here you can see, yeah, raw window handle is right there. So if we have a query to get the window, what are they doing for okay, raw handle wrapper. Let's just grab all of that. We can always delete it. I'm wondering if it's one of these like trait things where we're just missing the trait and we need to bring that in, and that's part of what's tripping us up here. But I don't know enough about the underlying implementation to have any clue what to pull in. Get field into mode path. This seems to be all the same that we were seeing before. We're on Windows.getSingle right now. Not seeing the trait on the window and Bevy docs. Yeah. So it seems like it's not re-exported. I mean, we could try this and then. So I think once we create the web view, we have options to be able to communicate with it. So here we have a window query. It's single, okay, and then. Let's do this. I don't know if we need to do that, but cannot find the value Winit windows in this scope. It is possible to look up the corresponding Winit window for a Bevy window and use various convenience functions. So you might actually need to pull in Winit window as well. Because that'll give us the get window. Nope. So we have an entity. Window query. We have an entity. And then with that entity, we want to, with primary window. Okay, so this should give us like the primary window as an entity. So if we do the Winit windows and get window, that should give it to us. Okay. Go away, go away. Winnet, Rust. Let's try searching for get window. Yeah, like I'm get single. We were saying get window handle. Okay, that's what we were trying to look for before, right? Get window handle. So there's a available and create feature RHW04 only. That is potentially part of what's given us problems here. I can do like star, right? Does that give me all the features? What do you not go with? Is it just all? I thought there was a way you could get all the features. Nope, that's not what I want. Where's my search bar? Oh, that is what I want. Features. So there's a way to get all the features, right? You're not seeing the trade on the window in Bevy docs. Oh, did I read that already? I think I read that already. No, I don't want that features. I want a list of the features in the thing. Third-party plugins, libraries. Let's look at crates. Bevy window. There's also Bevy winnet. Curious if we need to. I don't know that. I have a suspicion that we're like at where we need to be, but we're just missing a trait or we're missing some feature or something like that. And we are deep enough into the code where it's just straight away like not actually documented. There should be, yeah, features here. Okay, trace, Wayland, X11. Okay. And Bevy window, cargo, features, default and serialize. So it doesn't seem to be a specific, and I mean, we've got a raw window handle as dependency there. So I think we are on the right track. Now it's just going to be, and here's our wrapper, raw handle wrapper. unsafe impl has raw display handle. There's a thread locked raw. Ooh, okay, well. We cannot simply impl has raw display handle for raw handle wrapper, as the raw display handle method is safe. We cannot guarantee that all methods to this are correct. I think we're on the same track, yeah. I think we need to unsafe, and I think there's the impl with a good handle. All right, we'll just keep on commenting stuff out. We'll just unsafe this whole block, and we'll say let entity. Now let's not even bother there. Let's do a window query dot get single mute, I guess. And then can we do like a raw window handle? I mean, is that it? No. I mean, it says entity. And then entity. Entity. So, window. So primary window, prepare windows. Window position. So there's a winit windows get window. Window.raw window handle is there. Say what now? Window dot in the unsafe, if you unsafe it. Window.raw. Did I miss something? Oh, it was a struct. Yeah. I saw that too. I was like, I don't even know where that was now. Entity dot. Yeah, I think I was here. Yep. Yeah, unfortunately. I think that always like catches me. I'm getting a little bit better about understanding like what's what, but not immediately recognizing what these symbols are always trips me up a little bit, because I'm just like typing and pre-fills it in. I'm like, oh, hey, and then it's not quite what I need. So single mute gives us an entity. I think we still need to a wrapper over raw. Use raw window handle. Like it seems like it's there. And window has a primary, and to create a new window, you can spawn an entity with a window. So the window struct, these are all we've seen a bunch of these. Internal. Window theme and visibility. Simple default for window. Okay. And then we have some methods. These all are familiar. Resize constraints. Cursor. Window resolution. So I'm definitely, when we were typing and seeing the audio complete, I'm recognizing a lot of these. Okay, so internal window state has, yeah, it doesn't seem like anything worth diving into. Monitor selection, present mode, composite alpha, window to mode. And tests. Okay. You can retrieve the raw window handle if you're using the Winit plugin. And the Winit plugin comes from the default. So when we're doing the add plugins default window plugin, which I think then contains the Winit plugin. So I think we are, but do we use the Winit? Is there a Winit? Is there, I mean, what do we got in here? Thread locked raw window handle wrapper. We're pulling in like it's here. A wrapper over raw window handle and raw display handle. I feel like we're close, but those dots are just like, we're right here. We just need to connect those two dots. Add events, okay. Register types and exit condition, okay. Raw handle. Default window plugin. Yeah. So like I think. Yeah, we're getting this window here. Entity dot okay dot I'm thinking we might need to throw in the flag for today. We get an entity. And with the entity, we somehow look at Winit window, raw window. And I've seen it show up a bunch. Where would I look for that? That's from Winit directly? So is entity like a Winit thing? I mean, would we do something like I mean, it feels like it should be re-exported here. It seems like they got the pieces, but win it. Window. Bevy, win it. Yes. Honors. Okay, I might need them. So in the code for the struct raw handle wrapper as a field window handle that uses that method to get its value. Got it. So if we look at the imports here, that's in lib. If we look at raw handle, Bevy prelude. Okay. And it definitely does. I mean, any reference to it says it's unsafe. So there is also this thread locked. Let me try doing this thread locked one real quick. Thread locked. So honestly, like at this point, anything working would be nice. Even if it is in unsafe, we can come back around to it. Guess we'll do get single. I have no idea if I actually need to have it being viewable or not. Okay, option. I'm gonna just assume I needed mute. And this will give me an option mute. What's the unwrap give me? So that gives me a mute. Now if we do entity dot nothing. Get. Raw window handle, window. Is the window not created yet when we are in window init? You mean web view init, I'm assuming. So this is part of the post startup. Possible. Don't know if this makes a difference. I don't know that I want to do it on update, because update would mean that we would be creating the window every time, but right? So there is not insert of the hand. Okay. Wait. So there is not insert of the handler on the entity. It seems like it. It seems like we just don't have it on the entity. Raw window handle get unchecked. Yeah, I don't know. Window. Where does winit windows come from though? Is that something that just like shows up here. I think this is the confusing bit for me, is we've got this like add systems. Schedule makes sense to me when you're running this system. Startup versus like on update, and then a list of the systems. But like, how do I know? I don't know how to get better visibility into like what's being passed. Look at your command to code it. That's where you're seeing it. Oh, yeah, that just doesn't work. This was copied from someplace that just said we're using it, and cannot find value. So that's definitely it feels like this is the right track, and I need Winit windows somehow. So I need to pull it in from somewhere. So that comes from when you're creating a window. Interesting. Okay. Is that one of the, like, would that be in here? So add systems gives me into system configs. So like, how do I know what's in there? Is that where we would get Winit windows? Because that's not a crate, right? That's gotta be just a variable or something that's getting passed in. Here they were saying print monitor size. I'm like, where's the context? You're just throwing spitballs. Yeah, I feel that. They've got a window query. Oh, they got a Winit windows here. Ha! Ha! Okay. Cannot find type. Sure. Go ahead. Import it. I mean, we're still at that, like, here's the window. Monitor handle. I don't need the monitor. I need the... Hey. Whoop. Okay. Mismatch types. Entity, Winit windows get window for that entity. We're getting a single from the window query. And then from that Winit window, which is a reference, we're doing Winit window. Tire. Okay. Sure. Let's try wrapping it into some. Option. Raw window handle. Okay. Now. Whoop. Did I type or let handle? Window handle. Okay. Great. We're copying and pasting. So there's a main RS. How do we do this? How do we pull it over easily? So now we've got like these two disparate pieces. And we've gone longer than we hoped. Let me just make sure I'm not. Okay. Let's see if we can try it real quick. Nope, nope. I want you. Nope, I know. Not, here. I suppose we can do this. We'll do this. And then we'll do this. I'm gonna go right here. And there we go. All right. So now this kind of has more going on with it. We've got all the WebView stuff and everything in here. This also has some event loop stuff that I'm a little bit worried about is going to give us issues. Because I think, I mean, this is potentially Tau stuff. So we might be fine. It is, let's see, we've got the window and an embedded view builder. Can we pull it in? We might be able to pull it in. We can do like path references, right? I don't know if I need the raw window handle. I'm gonna leave it in here just because shrug. We'll say ry equals path equals this is going to go up and you cool with that? How cool are you with that? So that would be cool if you're cool with that. It hasn't complained yet. Because it is this, what we're looking at here is an example. We're pulling that in here. If we reference it that as a crate at the path, yeah, so Rai is the WebView piece. Tau is it's a fork of Winit that needed things that Winit didn't think was in scope for their project. Things have, there was sort of like divergence, and now as crates are being split apart and pieces pulled out, there's potential that like all of that can kind of come back together, and Tau may or may not exist as a project, who knows. But Tau is the windowing, which is effectively Winit as far as we're concerned here, and Rai is the WebView, the internal piece within it. So we have, as long as we have a window and a handle to that window, we should theoretically be able to render the WebView within that window. Perfect hand gestures, right? So descriptive. Doesn't seem to be complaining. So if we go ahead and just do a use, I don't know what we're gonna need. So I'm just sending it. Oh, did I not save? I saved it. No. Okay. Hasn't complained yet. We're just gonna do this, and I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Okay. Well, just not happy about that. Unresolved import. Could not find embedded WebView in Rai. Okay. It's possible because it's bringing in we might have to double check. I don't know that import path stuff is correct. So now we have a handle. Theoretically, we should be able to do this. Features. Features? Features. You might be right. Handle should be giving us a raw window handle. I think we can just say handle. We will find out shortly. Not sure what that expects as a return, but right. Features. Nothing's jumping out at me. Definitely does not like unresolved import. Rye embedded web view. Cannot find embedded web view in Rye. Are we embedded pub mod embedded web view? What did the quick fix say? Sure, let's see what the quick fix says. Remove all unused imports. Thanks. I don't know that we need to do the window builder, but yeah, right. Unresolved import. Cannot find embedded web view in Rye. Yeah, let's double check the path stuff. Cargo import path. I don't know that I'm doing my import right. That is right. Get path. Okay. I mean, I'm assuming that's just a normal path. If we like if we give it a bad path, does it complain? Maybe that's the first step. Okay. Failed to get rise dependency. Okay. Yeah, so it's trying to find it in Rust Adventure Tauri apps, right? Alright. So if I do that, I think the path is right. I think it's resolving correctly. So is it a matter of do we need to okay, there's a window. Oh, there's Windows features, okay. Examples. Do we need to do I have a feeling you're right about the features. Features Saturday. Implement. There's a bunch of Win32 stuff. Linux. So this does only work on Windows. You know that much. Tau default features. Objective-C, file drop, protocol, dev tools. None of these jump out at me as something that would be required. Add the winit as a feature. Yeah, I bet you're right. Where is that though? I would have expected it. Isn't it under features? I haven't used features enough to just like know offhand. But that does sound right. Go to your cargo table. Like this one? The way over there? Or this one? So Rye has... We don't have a... No, it's not a workspace. Okay. FRS. Can you see... links might be getting caught. I got Discord open if you just wanted to shoot a message. I don't even see links. I think it just squelches all links. Rye feature flakes. Why would I read the docs? I know what I'm doing. I don't need any documentation. Sarcasm, of course. Here? That in... I mean, I guess this isn't actually Rye either. Let me, it's the forked version of Rye. So we are, we are in the... Oh, forked version of Rye. Ah! Can't believe that was it. That's gotta be it. Because we're not in Tauri Apps Rye. We are in... What's the path? I don't have like any... Okay. I think it's just Crab Nebula, maybe? Yes. We'll just do it the hard way. Crab Nebula -dev, I believe. It seems fine. It seems fine with that. Yeah, so I think that was... I don't think I... Might need the features. I'm gonna leave it in there. Whatever. We are on a branch of a fork of Riot. That's how like RFC experimental deep we are. It's going. It seems to be cool with that. It is... So... What happens if we just do compile? Webview 2. Things are being pulled in. There's definitely more things that it's compiling than it was before. Bevy internal 0.2. Okay. Oof, okay. Ambiguous name. Webview 2. DPI could revert to the platform. Okay. Well, I mean, sure. Window is ambiguous. Is it really just all 12 errors? Just ambiguous names? Hey Chris, this close. Hence the I've now gone. What are we at? Almost 3 hours. I really should get back to work, but we're like so close. 2048 rye. I think we have a raw window handle, and we are here. It looks. Look, I'm baking a cake. It may taste like cake at the end of the day. It's not gonna look pretty. We have it pulled in via the path, and I think I have enough of a raw window handle that rye will recognize the fork or branch rye. Our cake might be rusty. Embedded web view. So it feels like we're close. And we're getting ambiguous names that we just got we just did a cargo run. I think it's all like, we can just turn off ambiguous names, right? Is there like an ignore ambiguous? Actually, it might just be in the sorry, there's like configure something for that, right? I'm usually just straight up okay with any of the merge, reorder imports. License, markdown, renovate. I thought it was in one of these. Alright, we're gonna search for it. Cargo, I guess it's Frost. Ambiguous name. What's I'm I mean, this is all coming from Rye. But I'm wondering if it's help. Consider adding an explicit import of error to disambiguate. If we are a little bit more careful about our imports here. Ooh, wow, I didn't. Oh, okay, all right. Formatting just like completely nixed it. Yeah, okay. Less. Same amount. Ambiguous because of multiple glob imports of a name in the same module. And is that because of when it's in Tau? Like, platform is ambiguous. I suspect that's what it is. So if we say use Rye, and can we do something like this? Is that going to deal with our ambiguous names here? So I think what's happening is we are importing Rye, which is pulling in Tau, which has overlap with things within Winit. And I guess the way that Rye is set up, like neither of them are expecting to have like multiple versions of Winit. And I'm not sure how to make it less ambiguous. Okay, I don't think I need this. Just gonna strip some of this off and see if all these other random imports are tripping us up here. I suspect I don't need. Let's see what happens if we take this off. Do we still get? I think we're good. Okay, we're still good. I kind of doubt it's actually going to change anything here. Yeah. Yep. Nothing. So we don't need those imports. How can we make the import less ambiguous? Oh boy. Yeah, so like what's happening, I think, is that within Rye we have DPI, and then within Winit there's also application. Is there an explicit import of DPI? Yeah, so like within here we've got a Tau and a Winit. In application, wait. So Tau and Winit both have it? Within application RS. Well, maybe we use Rise Winit. I mean, impossible? But I'm less familiar with... I mean, it took us this long to figure out how to get a handle in Bevy. I think we could potentially do it, but I don't know if Bevy is set up to do that. It probably is with because it pulls in Winit as a default plugin, and there's ways you can render it like headless or headless. Headless would be without a window. Yeah, headless and without a no. Headless would be without a renderer. You can also do it without a window. I feel like I'm mixing those up. I think Bevy could do it, but again, it took us this long to get to this point, so I wouldn't want to try to flip-flop it at this point. We would just throw in the towel. But I think like it seems like we're pulling in WebView 2, and it's because we're getting. I mean, we could potentially just like pull in this. All right, come on, help me out here. We'll play around with the imports, I guess, a little bit. Ambiguous glob re-exports. Why would that? Is this just straight away an issue with what we have going on here? So in embedded web view, we are pulling in create web view, context, web view 2. Where is it ambiguous? That's a little bit up in the air, but as I'm understanding the ambiguousness, big shrugs are around what, like, there's a pub use Win It and a pub use Tau. And I'm guessing like the version of Win It that is ended up coming in and the version of Tau that we have. One didn't re-export and is now or something. We were running it before as just this embedded web view last time through an example. So we were running the multi web view example. That was pulling in Rye embedded web view. It is possible it just like hasn't been cleaned up at all or anything. Do you have multiple WinIts in cargo lock? That's where I'm kind of coming to. Could that be it? DPI must exist in Taiwan. I'm presuming DPI exists both in Taiwan. Well, I think so, yeah. I don't think we actually need these. We were playing around with it. I don't know that we actually need those. Remove the feature? Yeah, let's go for it. I assume you mean the feature Win It, not the feature Jacob. Dad jokes. Gotta love them. Okay. Give that a cargo run. Yeah, I think that was it. Cannot find type Win It windows in this scope. Okay. That makes sense because I ripped it out. I ripped both of those out. So now we can, oh, not that button. This button. Unused import. Right. And Win It window does not have the raw window handle, probably because we don't have that trait in here anymore. Which, let me grab, I'll just copy and paste it because we have this open still from here. I'm assuming we need this. To get it to show up. Okay, not that. Okay, we can go back a little bit. This. We're gonna send it. We're just doing the whole thing. Unresolved import. I don't think we need the feature. I think it was coming in from here. I think we need this. I want to say that you're correct on the feature thing, and we just need that. Does Bevy must like re-export these, right? Yeah, okay, that's what I was saying. Bevy's got to be re-exporting these, right? Where's this? This is what I want. Take that back out. And this, and this, and this. Yeah, all the Bevy crates are re-exported, generally speaking. Okay. Win It Windows is not found in scope. Okay. Oh. We have a window with the game. I don't see the web view though. So we are setting it to 0, 0. We have a thing. There's something there. It's possible that that's what I was to say. I suspect you're on the right track, Chris. But how do we tell? We have a handle. I don't know. I don't have any idea how to put it like above it. You like being around the right track, right? Yes. I feel like we've been on the right track the whole time. And we're just following a train. Just having a hell of a time catching up with this train. Builder.build. Let's double check. So we have a raw window handle. There's an event loop and then a window. Window gets a raw window handle. It's not complaining, so I'm assuming the types are compatible. So I think we have a valid window, and I don't think we need to do anything with the events loop, because I would presume that Bevy's handling that. So I think we've got all the pieces there. It's got to be that it's just behind it. But let's see, raw. Well, we've got a. Just handle have any. Give us anything. Clone. Oh, it is. Ixnay. Can you clear the window? Like just don't render. Let's see. Oh. We gotta put it in as a system. We took it out, remember? Let's just rerun it. We had it as a system, then we took it out at some point and then we put it back in. We did it, friends. We did it. So wild. Yeah, right? Yes. We did it, friends. Now, we would still need a bunch of this to land in Tauri if we would want to use Tauri as a packaging system, but we could potentially ship this kind of what we have the web view, and I'm presuming Bevy's got enough of a packaging ecosystem where we could use Bevy to package it up, and we just have the web view. But so we've got is that drop not gonna work? That's gonna make me sad. Is that not working either? I swear it's been a day of just like, we're almost there. We're almost there. The chat's working. Why would action cues? We're making that happen. There we go. It totally worked. Ta-da! I didn't just turn it off and on again. Hey, well, we'll take the wins where we get them. So I think we could potentially use the Bevy ecosystem to package this up and
ship this. Like I think this is like theoretically shippable. We're not doing anything with this web view though, and we would need to make the web view. You know, we would right now we're just rendering the Rust-laying website, so like we would have to write our own code to put in there, and a lot of that packaging is in Tauri. So we would likely still want to have some level of Tauri involvement to get the packaging part of it and the like the commands and everything. Because as it is right now, we sort of have like two disparate pieces, and they don't have a great way to communicate with each other. But I think if we would push this up into the Tauri side of things, and we might potentially need to look at like flip-flopping the expectation here. But depending on how this is exposed in Tauri, we could possibly have Bevy sort of handle the main event loop, and then Tauri just hooks into it, like gives it a web view to go and run with it. Because with that, we would want the packaging from Tauri, because that's kind of a pain to do, and the events communication part of it. Because if we could have like the Tauri API and the Tauri commands on the web view side of things, I think that would probably be the way that we would want to communicate with the backend. Leftos inside of a web server functions called like one-shot Bevy systems wrapped up in Tauri. That, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you could effectively go full Rust, and I mean you are WASM WebView. It's not pure Rust per se, but you end up interacting with the code in pretty purely Rust. So I think the way that Tauri app is structured, the Rust is kind of like a backend. From a web dev type perspective, you have your front end, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and then you have your back end that you're just communicating with. That happens over the IPC layer. We would want that, and that's coming from Tauri, because we would want to be able to communicate to that window. This was cool. I'm glad we did this. I feel like I've got a much better handle on how these pieces are starting to fit together. And I kind of wouldn't mind pulling in eGUI into the mix. Yeah. This. Yeah, I think we worked through it, and I think like I've got enough. There's enough here, I think, that we could potentially pull in like eGUI into the mix too, which would just get wild. And this might make sense to then again come around to the eGUI plugin and look at that implementation now that at least I personally have a little bit better understanding. But I think to get any of this to the point where it makes sense to actually do something like this, we would need it in Tauri. And I think if we get it pushed up into Tauri, I suspect we can package it up in a way that where Tauri wouldn't need to be the thing that's controlling the main event loop. You could have something like Bevy control it, because there's probably a greater expectation in their code that it is the one handling the event loop. And when I say like event loop, that would be the here. So in this example, we have an event loop coming from Rise. So it's the
re-exported from tau event loop in Rai, which tau being a fork of winit, it's basically like the main loop. So when you're creating the window needs to take the event loop, and then you run that as a loop. This is all handled within like the Bevy window, Bevy winit side of things. And if that expectation is sort of like deeply built in, that sort of has a that pushes the architecture in a certain direction. So, well, I think we did it. I feel happy that we at least got this far. Maybe we look at EGUI stuff next time. That might be worth poking around with. I don't know if we want to put EGUI into this mess, but maybe. I don't even know if I'm gonna push this code anywhere because we've got like branches and forks and. Whew. But we have a recording, so we can always come back to it. It might make sense to play around with the EGUI stuff, but I don't think it's actually going to make. This isn't going to be in a shippable state, I would say, until this is definitely more of a POC. This is definitely not going to be in a shippable state until we would get something in Tauri, would be my opinion. I mean, we could ship this, but why? It's the lack of communication is really going to hinder any real use cases. Straight to production. I was saying earlier, I feel like when I write Rust, if I can do cargo run and I don't have any errors, just ship it. I don't need to write tests. The type system is perfect. It's held my hand this whole time. It says I'm good. And the there is actually somewhat sarcastic, not 100%. Yeah. Feel good. We'll TBD on what we do next week. Maybe the EGUI stuff. I'll probably look at it a little bit to see if it's even reasonable to do that. But again, we are digging into this RFC. I will drop it in the old chat. Comments, thoughts, feel free to drop them in there. I think this would be really cool for it to land. I think it opens up a lot of unique experiments at the very least. And I would love to see if we can start to shift this up into a place where we could have it within Tauri. Within Tauri, we could have that communication layer. So we'll see. Maybe some EGUI stuff, maybe more in this. I don't know. But that's gonna be for future, Jacob. If you have any thoughts or other plans on where we should go with this, drop it in the chat or in the comments. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for all your help, Tony. Thanks again, John. Thanks again. The Bevy code that we used, that was Chris from Rust Adventure. Check out their workshops. Good stuff. Whew. See you next week. Bye. Pause. Bye.